نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We begin with Allah's blessed name. We praise Him and we glorify Him as He ought to be praised and glorified. And we pray for peace and for blessings on all His noble messengers, including the last of them all, the blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. As we greet you on this, the 14th day, for me the 14th, for you maybe the 15th of the month of Jamadul Akhirah in the year 1446 from Jember, beautiful Jember in Java in Indonesia, with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we begin with a verse of the Quran in Surah Al-Hujurat, I think, yes, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a warning. يا أيها الذين بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. O you who have faith, be careful when news come to you from a source which is sinful. Be careful to investigate, to find out what is the truth. Don't simply accept it and then eventually have to regret for having accepted falsehood and then having acted in a manner which was foolish. This is the Quran. And our Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, has warned. He said that in Akhirul Zaman there will be great liars, so beware. Despite the Quran and despite our Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, we are a people who don't think, and we swallow the lies, and our enemies are able to progress. What can we do with a people who refuse to think? It happened in September 2001, and they acted with deception, and they threw dust in our eyes. And we believe what they said and what they did. It was called 9/11. It happened not only in September 2001, it happened in October 2023, when Hamas was deceived, and all the sheep and cattle were deceived. And like 9/11, the world of Islam accepted what was done. And that was September, that was October, and now December 2024. And the same deception. Our Prophet said, beware. In Akhir Zaman there will be great liars, beware. What happened in 9/11? The news which came from the sinful source said that there were some Muslim pilots, and they hijacked some aeroplanes in the United States. And they flew the aeroplanes into the World Trade Center. They perform maneuvers with the aeroplane which are difficult for even experienced fighter pilots. And these were trainer pilots. And we accepted that it was Muslim pilots flying the aeroplane who flew the aeroplane into the World Trade Center. We accepted. But that was a lie. There is something called electronic hijacking. And every experienced pilot in the world will agree with me, everyone, that those aeroplanes were not flown by those young trainee pilots. Every experienced pilot in the world would agree that there was electronic hijacking of the pilots. And the aeroplanes were flown from the ground to do what it did. So, who was the one who attacked America on 9/11? Answer? It was the American CIA and the Israeli Mossad.
Dan Mossad Israel, yeah.
Because they are sisters. And when they had their official inquiry into 9/11, they did not allow any pilot to give evidence, none, because the lie would have been exposed. And then they used 9/11 to invade Afghanistan and spent 20 years trying to destroy Afghanistan. They were planning to use Afghanistan to attack Pakistan, to destroy Pakistan as a nuclear power. They were planning to use Afghanistan to attack Iran. These are a nasty and dangerous people. They did so much wickedness using 9/11 to justify themselves. And yet our people accepted the lie of 9/11. And there are those who knew that 9/11 was a lie, but they're scared, afraid to talk. Our prophet said the greatest jihad is to proclaim the truth in the face of a tyrant. We did not have men to do that. We had a number of boys. And then came October 2023. And the same thing happened again. The weapons, the drones, which were being shipped to Ukraine. Massive amount of weapons being shipped to Ukraine. State-of-the-art weapons and drones. And the CIA and the Mossad were able to divert part of these weapons and get them to enter into Gaza. And Hamas, happy to get all these weapons, they believe that these weapons had come from Allah, whereas the weapons had come from the enemy. And so there was a master plan at work in October 2023, as there was a master plan at work in 9/11. The American government knew that 9/11 was going to take place, and they did nothing to stop it. The Israeli government knew that Hamas was going to attack. The Egyptian government warned Israel 2 days before that Hamas was going to attack. And yet the Israeli government did nothing to stop it, because the Israeli government wanted the attack to take place. On Judgment Day, we will know the truth, the evidence will be out, and we will not be surprised, because we already know the truth, that there was massive deception. But the sheep and the cattle, who have nothing but peanuts in their head, and who are now dancing in Damascus, they will be surprised on Judgment Day. And Hamas will also be surprised with the evidence on Judgment Day. That Israel allow Hamas to attack in October 2023. And more than 1,000 Israelis were killed. And more than 200 Israelis were taken hostage. Maybe more than 100 still remain as hostages up to now. Because the Israeli government didn't care for their own people. They wanted the attack to take place so that they could then pursue a master plan. The master plan was, number one, to destroy Hamas. I prefer to call them the authentic Islamic resistance, but they prefer to call themselves Hamas. And Israel wanted to destroy them. Number two, Israel wanted to remove the Palestinians from Gaza, destroy all the houses, all the buildings in Gaza, drive the Palestinians down to the very end of Gaza, and there will be no coming back to your home. Eventually throw the Palestinians out into Sinai, or get Egypt to take them. And then people Gaza with Jews, because the Palestinians in Gaza, headed by Hamas, were a threat to Israel. The second thing in the master plan was to try to provoke Hezbollah in Lebanon to join the war, and then to attack Hezbollah and destroy Hezbollah. The third part of the master plan was to provoke Iran to join the war, and to then attack Iran and destroy Iran's capacity to produce nuclear weapons and missiles. What we did not know, and what Syria's government did not know, and what the Russian government also did not know, was that the master plan also included to arm Dajjal's warriors in Syria to eventually launch an attack on the Syrian government and the Syrian armed forces. This was the master plan. Many parts of this plan have already succeeded because Hamas did not have the sense to understand that they were being deceived. And now in December of 2024, the same thing happened again. These are Muslims who are in Syria in a place called Idlib. They are probably performing their salat every day. They're probably fasting in Ramadan. And yet, they would not ask, who is giving us all these weapons? Who is giving us battle tanks? Who is giving us drones? State-of-the-art military hardware. They don't ask those questions. They believe that we are Allah's warriors, and we are fighting the cause for Allah. So someone should ask them, was it Santa Claus who sent you all these weapons? Did Santa Claus give you all the drones? Did Santa Claus send all the American dollars? Have you no sense in your head? And this morning I said, who gave the green light to attack in December? Was it Allah who gave you the green light? Was it Allah's angels who came and gave you the green light? Have you no sense in your head? It was the enemy who gave you the green light to attack in December. And that is why history will record that you are Israel's puppy dogs. And those who are dancing in the streets of Damascus now will then only speak of one thing, only one thing. Oh, Assad had so many people in prison. And they were being tortured. And maybe they put in also that babies were being raped. And we heard all of this before. But they will not accept that it was the enemy who gave all the weapons. And they were deceived. If the enemy is giving you the weapons, you are not independent. You have to act the way the enemy wants you to act now. So let Indonesia be careful. We are speaking to Indonesia from Jember to tell Indonesia, wake up, do not accept lies. This was 9/11 all over again in October last year and December this year. Now then, we asked the question this morning, what will be the future? And what we said this morning was that these Israeli puppy dogs, we anticipate they will continue to hold power in Syria until the Imam comes, Imam al-Mahdi. That when the Imam al-Mahdi proclaims himself in Mecca that he is the Imam, our Prophet said that an army will come from Damascus to attack the Imam. And we said this morning that the army would be Israel's puppy dogs who have now taken control of Syria. But what else is there which is now in the future that will take place? We said this morning that in the same way that in Libya, when the government of Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown, the result was civil war, and that civil war is still going on. Similarly in Syria, now that the government which was Alawi is gone, and the Alawi government had no Islamic credentials, none. It is gone or it will never come back. And the positive result is that the authentic Islamic resistance can now emerge. And our people will now fight Israel's puppy dogs. And this civil war will continue until Imam al-Mahdi comes. And this civil war will continue until Nabi Isa alayhi salam returns. So Syria, there is plenty of war still remaining. What else can we now expect? Answer, that they will attack Iran. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the attack on Iran does not take place, because if the attack takes place on Iran, Iran does not fight the way the others fight. Any attack on Iran would instantly cause Iran to become a nuclear power. You can do what you want, but you will not be able to prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear power. Number two, any attack on Iran which is supported by Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries would result in Iran attacking all the oil installations in the Gulf. And Iran has the missile technology to destroy them all. Iran will also block the Straits of Hormuz, so no oil can be shipped. An attack on Iran would result in the price of oil going up by several $100s. And if the price of oil goes up by several $100s, there will be runaway inflation all over the world. And those who attack Iran will then face a backlash from mankind. In the same way that there are American students in universities demonstrating against Israel and the Jews, similarly, if there runaway inflation all over the world, all of mankind will turn against Israel and the Jews. A Jew will have to hide himself. Cannot travel anywhere and people know he's a Jew. And don't say that Imran is anti-Semitic. And don't say that I'm speaking something that is wrong. I'm simply warning the Jews of what lies in store for them if Israel attacks Iran. This is all I have to say on the subject of Syria, and I hope and I pray that the time will come when I can continue on this subject at another time. From tomorrow, we will begin a different subject, inshallah. So now we allow you to ask your questions. Sister there. Microphone.
Can I asking anything question, Sheikh?
The question should be on our subject now.
Okay. Pertanyaannya ya. Okay. So I will asking about your last lecture this morning. You were mentioned about the man from Medina will appear and hurry to Mecca and claim himself as Mahdi, if I'm not mistaken. And my question is, the Mahdi himself has been born or not?
Has Imam Mahdi been born?
Has been born or not? And then maybe I will ask.
How many questions are you asking?
Hanya satu.
Only one. But I have so many.
Oke, nanti satu dulu ya. Apakah Imam Mahdi sudah lahir sekarang?
The question is Imam al-Mahdi already born? The answer is, I don't know, but also I don't want to know. I am not concerned with that subject. It is not important to me. It is not a part of our Islamic eschatology. Next question. You have one? You. Go ahead. Let me hear. Okay, this topic. Go ahead.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Ismail. I want to ask about your topic about the Israel will attack Iran. Is that the proven of 70 of the nubuah of 70,000 of Israel coming from Isfahan, because Israel has been conquered after that attack?
The hadith of Nabi Muhammad ﷺ is that Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews from Isfahan, and they'll be wearing the Persian shawl. I went to Isfahan. There is one hotel in Isfahan called Hotel Akbar. Huge hotel. And all of Dajjal's Jews come to that hotel. So when I stayed in that hotel, I was able to see all of them. But they had come from outside of Iran. Yes. And so it is not the Islamic revolution in Iran, which is part of Dajjal's plan. It is other people who are opposed to the Islamic revolution in Iran. And they are a dangerous force. And when an attack is to take place on Iran, these 70,000 will be part of it. Next question.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Syekh, kami semua di sini mencintai Syekh. I love you, Syekh.
We love you, Syekh.
Saya mau tanya, tapi sudah ditanyakan saudara saya Ismail ya. Jadi persis sama. Tapi saya ingin menyampaikan sebuah statement. Saya orang Indonesia cemburu kepada orang Malaysia. Kenapa saya lebih mencintai Malaysia daripada Indonesia? Kenapa saya kok tidak tinggal lama di Indonesia daripada di Malaysia agak berlama-lama? Terima kasih.
Actually, his question was already asked by him, but he makes the question for you. Why don't you want to be in Indonesia that long? He is very jealous of Malaysia to have you there. That's his question.
I write books, and all my books are printed in Malaysia for 20-something years now. And my new book, The Quran and Russia's Destiny, a few hours ago I sent that book to Malaysia for the formatting to take place. and prepare the index. That work might take 2 or 3 days.
Dan
2 or 3
pekerjaan itu
days,
akan
and then the book will go to a printery in Malaysia.
kemudian
The printing work in Malaysia is very good, and the prices are also good. I also have many students in Malaysia, and the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir, he likes my profile as a scholar, and he gave me Malaysian permanent residence, PR. In Indonesia, I have only one man, Kiai. So I love Indonesia more than Malaysia. Yes.
Nanti orang Malaysia marah.
So I pray that I'll be able to come back to Indonesia. I used to go to Bandung. I used to go to Jogja. I used to go to Jakarta. I used to go to Ciputat. I used to go to Banten. Now I go only to Jember. Next question.
Assalamualaikum Sheikh. My name is Muhammad Farnaikal. I want to ask some question and I agree with you when you say Israel will attack Iran and in the near time, and the Arab Saudi will help fall with their all, and Israel and United States already have some oil mine in Megadon, Israel oil mine. So we are Indonesian. What we should do for anticipation? Thank you.
What should we do for
The anticipation.
anticipation?
If it happens.
I didn't understand the question.
What should we prepare if Israel attack Iran, or with the help of Saudi and Gulf countries as well?
If Israel attacks Iran and there are Muslims who start to dance and celebrate, then they are not a part of this ummah. They are a people who are misguided. They hate Iran, and this is most embedded in the Salafi and in Saudi Arabia. If Israel attacks Iran, then we and Iran were brothers. We must support Iran. Pakistan must support Iran. Afghanistan must support Iran. And the Arabs must support Iran. We must have solidarity in the world of Islam. Indonesia must come to support Iran. Malaysia must support Iran. But what can I do when we have so many sheep and cattle who will dance with the CIA and the Mossad when an attack on Iran takes place? May Allah protect us from those sheep and cattle. Next question. No more?
Nama Huzaifah dari Jember. Izin bertanya, Syekh. Melihat kondisi Gaza yang semakin terjepit sebagaimana prolog tadi, apakah masih perlu kita dukung bila ada penggalangan senjata dan itu dilakukan secara rahasia? Apa itu juga termasuk pengelabuan dan apakah masih ada harapan?
With the recent situation in Gaza, should we also still help them in providing a weapon secretly, or is it part of the deception?
Okay. I don't think I have a capacity to answer this question. So far as sending money to Gaza, you
Sejauh
must continue to do that. So far as sending food and
tetap mengirimkan.
clothing, tents, blankets, water, you must continue. But how can you send weapons to Gaza unless you are a friend of Israel? Are you a friend of Israel? Will you ask Israel for permission to send you weapons? I don't think it's possible. Israel now controls Gaza. So I cannot understand someone asking about question for sending weapons. I don't know how it can be sent. But yes, we must continue sending aid to help them in food and clothing and shelter. One more question. Satu.
Pak Daniel.
Oh, Daniel, okay. No satu lagi. Satu.
You refer to the Surat Al-Jurat that we have to stand up for the truth and to face the tyrant and to speak about the truth. But in fact now with the fitna Dajjal, for example about the COVID pandemic and 9/11 and all of this, we try to speak and to go to the people who have some kind of power, of the possibility to learn about that and to change things. But at the end, it's very difficult, and we become alone. No more people want to listen because we don't have the facts, because they are so big liars that we can't prove that. So if you are a share, so it's better we follow the share than we go to speak by ourselves. And the same from the people here, is better they follow Sheikh Abdulaziz, who send the surah to the government and the institution here, and to make maybe how to be the follower and to let people with the knowledge to speak about the truth and not go to the social media and all of this and all this, make it a busy mess. Yeah.
I don't understand.
I didn't hear.
I'm sorry, Pak Daniel, I don't understand. I really don't understand.
It is better than we speak about the truth in front of the people, or is better that we follow somebody with the knowledge and the power to how to speak with the fitna Dajjal, and all this social media was so many stories.
Okay.
Pak Daniel, punten ya, saya beneran nggak nangkep, maaf.
So we'll answer you at dinner time, inshallah.
Dinner, yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat jalan.
Selamat jalan.
Selamat jalan.